get some conversation started, and we'll have more opportunities to do that today. And you might get a chance to meet some other people. But let's start with, what is the program? We'll start getting you some information. So I'm going to share a video with you. We were really fortunate to have one of our students who graduated a year ago create this video before she left. It was Marlyn, and she was on our student advisory board. So let me share my screen.
This is the moment where I fulfilled one of my lifelong dreams. I'm graduating with my bachelor's degree from the University of Colorado Boulder. It seems like it was just yesterday, but it's been a long journey to this pathway to excellence. I had a lot of support along the way, especially from the McNeill academic program. Let's go back to the beginning. But what is McNeill? The McNeill academic program is a multicultural learning community that enhances student academic success. The mission of the program is to create a place of belonging and connection among student, staff, and faculty. We engage and support students to help them realize their full academic and personal potential while valuing the difference which makes them each unique. McNeill provides academic and professional workshops that help us develop as students and as leaders. The workshops provide opportunities to build community and prepare for future opportunities in graduate school, internships, and careers. Power Hours have included networking opportunities with Google, Twitter, and other professional organizations to build connections. I really enjoyed working with one of my McNeill coordinators. My coordinator helped me develop my academic success plan, pick classes, and help to support the academic and social demands of the CU experience. So why McNeill? What makes it so great? Well, I'm glad you asked. McNeill also offers a variety of courses that are student-centered and provide students with the experience needed to meet and exceeds the demands of upper division work. What makes McNeill different from other programs on campus is its student leadership program. First-year students are matched with a peer mentor who will serve as a guide and resource throughout the first year at CU. The Emerging Health Professionals programs have included shadowing medical experts and even CPR certification classes. And I was a member of the Student Advisory Board, also known as the Voice of McNeill. We worked together to design projects and provide feedback for McNeill programming. So here we are, back to graduation day, a day I would not have made it without the support of my family, friends, and the McNeill academic program. I am grateful for all of the friends I have made along this journey. I look forward to the many new adventures ahead in this chapter. I hope that by sharing my story, you will now be inspired to create your own story and pathway in McNeill and CU Boulder. Welcome to the McNeill Academic Program.
Okay, why McNeill? We support you in creating your own personal path to excellence. So Dr. Johnson came up with this next illustration where it's clear what the image is. And we often think our college career is going to look like this, that it's pretty straightforward, when in fact, it might look more like this, with lots of other factors playing into your academic journey. You need to take into consideration getting a part-time job, getting involved on campus, working out, meal times, creating a balance for yourself, making connections with faculty, spending time with faculty, study groups, learning about new opportunities. All of this stuff plays a part in creating your own personal experience. And we're in partnership with you. So we're gonna help you pull together your entire experience at CU Boulder and to ensure that you make progress towards graduation. But this is where each of the strengths you each bring creates a journey that's personalized for you. So the video went through a description of what we offer. We wanna clarify what the requirements are. So our promise to you is to be able to listen, to support you in creating your personal goals and encourage you. CU can be challenging. We're going to encourage you to step into that challenge, and we're going to talk about pertinent resources to help make the workload really manageable, because we believe in you and we believe that you're going to do really well here. So for this to work though, It's a partnership. We need your engagement as well. So we're going to review the specifics of what we expect of you. And I'm going to hand the presentation over to Lauralee to cover this part. So Lauralee, can you introduce yourself?
Yes. Hello, everyone. Good morning. I'm Lauralee. I am the outgoing graduate assistant, and I just graduated with my master's in higher ed this past May. So yes, I will be going over the program requirements. We sent you an email on Wednesday, either Wednesday or Monday. You should have received a couple documents with it. So if you will change it to the next slide. So yeah, we have this sheet with a little pencil on there. If you want to follow along with me, please feel free to. On the chat, I will be posting the copy to all the links that we sent you all in the email. So this first one is a program agreement. Please go ahead and look over it. We're gonna go over it. We're gonna go over the main points on it, but please look over it so you understand. The fill out sheet is this blue little pencil thing. There's more information about peer mentors and a whole guide. Please, even later on, take a moment to go over these documents just so you understand our program a little bit more. A lot of your questions can be answered by going and reading through the guide. Perfect, so now we'll do a quick review of all our program requirements. Thank you. So the first and most unique thing about our program is that we offer our own classes. So you may seem like, well, what's the difference? For main classes, usually you'll be in a lecture of about 300 to 400 students. In McNeill classes, our biggest class is 25 students. This really helps you connect with our amazing faculty that we have. Right now we have two. We have Dr. Johnson and Julia somewhere. I don't see her on my screen. Both of them are amazing faculty to work with. There also is overlap with our faculty and our McNeill coordinators. So faculty really are there to connect with you and help you both with your professional and personal goals as well. Like I said, we do have overlap with our McNeill coordinators. A lot of them are faculty. So you do see them around a lot and very often. You will meet with your McNeill coordinator twice a semester. They're awesome because you can really ask them like, well, what class should I take? But also, what can I do to make sure I achieve this professional goal of mine? We also have our peer mentors. Brian and Delina were previous peer mentors. So if you have any questions about mentors, you can also ask them. You'll meet with them twice a semester. They're awesome because they're upperclassmen and they know what they're doing somewhat, I guess, but most of the time they do know what they're doing. They've experienced the same thing you're experiencing now. You really can ask them a wide range of questions as where do you go hang out? Where do you go get lunch? What's a good place to go get Chinese food or something? But you can also ask them what classes, what electives did you take this semester? How do you write this email to a professor? Or how do I ask a professor for a letter of rec? So really, you can ask your peer mentor any question that you can think of, and they're there to help you and guide you through the steps too. So you are required to attend our community building events, and I will go over in the next slide with you all what those entail exactly. We also have these things called educational enrichment opportunities that you will get to accomplish before your senior year. These may seem like a lot of things that you all have to do, but remember that this is in the span of a semester. So you're meeting with us about 6 to 10 hours a semester. So it's really not that much when you think about it within a semester. The most important thing is if you can't attend something to really stay in communication. You will have a coordinator assigned to you at the beginning of the year, so please stay in communication with them. If you're like, well, I can't attend this power hour, what do I do? Email them, and you all have access to our McNeill email. So please stay in communication. Email is gonna be your best friend this next semester. Always, but really this next semester. Go ahead, so our community building events. The first one is our peer mentors. So you all will get to meet them in late August. We're not sure, we're trying to see if we can have this in person. Most likely it will be via Zoom. And then we have this McNeill welcome. This will happen September 10th at 4 p.m. Make sure if you have a pencil, write it down or put it on your phone so you know when it is. This is a great event to really meet the entire McNeill community. Our program consists of about 400 to 500 students total. Our incoming class this year is about 150 students. So the welcome is a great opportunity to really meet all our faculty, our staff, and all the rest of our students as well. So September 10th at 4 p.m. The challenge course, this is an event just for first year students. This is where you get to meet the greater just first year students. Like I said, it's about 150 students. So there are a lot of you all. It's not just I think we have about 20 on right now. So it's not just 20 of you all. There's a lot of you all in this same experience. This will be happening September 19th. This will be via Zoom, but we're working on an in-person option for those who will be on campus as well. Power hours, you all saw this in the video. What are power hours? They're basically just academic and professional workshops that you all can go to, and you will get to attend 2 of these in the fall and 2 in the spring. You can attend more if you'd like. We usually have anywhere from 6 to 9 different, to like 10 or 12 different options. So there's never like, well, I can't attend because there's only 2 options. No, there's a wide variety. You can really fit it in your schedule. We always recommend that you take at the beginning of the semester to really plan it out once you receive all the dates of the power hours, to plan it out and put it in your calendar so that way you know when you're going to attend. Power hours are great because we have great partnerships with campus, with career services, counseling services, but even our community like Google and Twitter have come. We also have Take 2. Again, this is going to be just for first year students. This is a great time to reflect on your first semester and how it went. This will be happening spring of January 2021. Perfect. Now I will go over our educational enrichment opportunities. I know this seems like a big term, but basically this embodies a lot of different things. It really just is engaging outside of the classroom and within the classroom as well. So you all will get to participate in maybe study abroad opportunities, program leadership, service learning, and volunteer. This will happen before your senior year. So by your senior year, you should be completing this. We have a lot of program leadership. Within our program, all our student leaders, all our current students, all student leaders all work in the front office, but also partake in a lot of our other leadership. Perfect. Now I'm gonna have you, now that we went over this, I'm gonna have you all please submit this survey. Please complete this survey, basically just confirming that you understand the program agreements and our photo release form. I will also post the next activity. So yes, it is a Kahoot game. So go ahead and just join on kahoot.it, and it will ask you for this code. It's easier if you have a different device and you can put it on your phone, and so that way you can still look at both screens or have it up on a completely new tab. And we'll take a few minutes for you. I think there's about 19 or 20 of you all on here. So go ahead and start signing in. No. Hello? You all can get creative with your name as well. I like the spicy empanada. Okay, I'll take like 30 more seconds. Okay, like 10 more seconds. You also can join while we're playing as well. The code will come on the bottom. I'll show you all. Okay, we'll go ahead and get started, and the code will be down here if you need to join while we're playing. First question, how many times a semester will you meet with your academic coordinator? I'll put the sound, it's my favorite part. It's so cheesy. Yes, you will meet with them twice a semester. You can meet with them more if you would like. True or false, it is required to attend the McNeill Welcome happening on September 10th, 2020. Perfect. So true, you will need to attend the welcome. This is a required event, like you said. This is a very fun event. Usually we would have it in person. It's one of our biggest events that we have throughout the year, actually. But we're still trying to make it fun, even though we're not going to be in person. Our theme will be out of this space because this is a very out of this world experience that we're all in. How many power hours or workshops will you attend each semester? You can meet 4 times. You can attend 4 if you would like. But yes, we require for you all to attend a minimum of 2 power hours per semester. Okay. Oh, spicy empanada. You're getting up there. What's the third planet from the sun? Earth. Ooh, I almost got you with Mars. It's not Mars. So it is Earth. I had to Google it as well. Okay, Bryant, I see you did pay attention in science class. No, I'm kidding, you did pay attention. The community building events are optional. Correct, so community building events are not optional. You are required to attend them. They consist of the challenge course happening on September 19th, the welcome, and our 2 power hours that we'll have this first semester. Ooh, Deanna's on fire over here. Okay. How many times are you required to meet with your McNeill peer mentor each semester? Correct, so you will meet with them twice a semester. You can meet with them more times if you would like. Now Brian's on fire. Okay. You will take 1 McNeill course in the fall, math, science, writing, or leadership. How large are classes? Correct, 25 students. I was really hoping someone would put bunnies, but it's okay. I guess I can go find bunnies somewhere else. So yes, our classes aren't very big. They're 25 students each. And they're a lot smaller. The max is 25. As a McNeill student, before my senior year, I will participate in 1 educational enrichment opportunity, which include yes, all of them. Educational enrichment opportunities do consist of a lot of different things, like education abroad, internships, research, program leadership that I had talked about. Bryant, they beat you. I'm kidding. Okay, last question, my favorite question. What is the name of the CU Boulder Buffalo? Correct. His name is Ralphie. So on my slides, you saw the little like fluffy mascot. That his name is Chip, and Ralphie is the actual buffalo. Ralphie, I'm pretty sure, is a girl right now. So we do have different buffaloes. They do die and or go retire. I think that's what they call them. They do retire the buffaloes at some point. I think we're on our 5th Ralphie last time I read up on Ralphie. Ooh, Richard, okay. Thank you all for playing. I really appreciate it. You all really were paying attention. That's awesome. Thank you all for.
Okay, thank you, Laura Lee. So our program requirements are based on like over 50 years of experience at CU Boulder and knowing what CU asks of students. And so they're based on a lot of student feedback as well, our student advisory board, our student leaders, former students, and our requirements are based on high impact practices. These are practices that have been found to be effective. If students engage in them, students are more likely to have a richer college experience and graduate from college in a timely manner. So there's a lot of thought that goes into the requirements. If you, we kind of went over that quickly. If you have questions or you want to read up more, take a look at the guide. Laura Lee sent you a link to our program guide, and that will describe all the program components. Let's see, now I'm gonna, we'll move on to the next part of our program and hand it over to Dr. Johnson.
Great. Thank you, Sophie. So this is the part of our program where we'll do a little bit of reflection. But first, let me introduce myself. I am Dr. Sherelle Johnson. You are more than welcome to call me Sherelle or Dr. Johnson, or a lot of students now call me Dr. J, whatever you feel comfortable with. I am also a program coordinator within the McNeill program, and I also teach some of our leadership classes. So we're very excited to have you here today. So today we're going to do a little bit of reflection. It will require you to have some pen and paper. We will go into breakout groups in a little bit, but give me just a second and let me share my screen and we'll go ahead and get started with this portion. All right, so again, this part of our program is going to do some reflection. So by nodding your head or using some of the reactions in the Zoom app, you can use a thumbs up, a clap. How many of you had this first question when you received your admissions letter from CU Boulder letting you know that you were part of the McNeill program? So what is McNeill exactly? So yeah, I see a couple of head nods, but more importantly, I'm sure a lot of you asked the second question, why am I in this program? Yes, so we can talk about how great and awesome the McNeill program until we're blue in the face. However, we decided to do a little bit of reflection to tell you who we are, what are our values and strengths that makes us such a great community, and why we've asked you to be a part of our program as well. But before we do that, let's go back and do a little bit of history work. McNeill has been on our campus for a little over 30 years in a variety of different iterations. We exist because of student advocacy, student activism, and we're a very student-centered program. In the 1960s and 70s, in response to the national civil rights movement, CU Boulder, as well as other universities, began to diversify their campuses. They looked for students of color, they looked for students with low income background, as well as those that were the first in their families to attend college. However, there was a lack of support for these students. And so the students began to gather again, and they wanted to develop a program that would include a staff member that would assist them with housing, financial aid, as well as academic success, all in one place. And this is what we have, this is what we call McNeill today. So our current students are an extension of this work, of the student voices that have shaped our program. Currently, and in recent years, we've added a STEM component to our program. We've strengthened our peer mentor program, and we've also added scholarships for students looking to pursue unpaid internships. So as I stated before, we're very student focused, and we really value the student voice that helps shape our programming. So there are 3 pathways of students who join McNeill. So the first pathway is through the Office of Admissions. That's how we get most of our students. We have a very strong partnership with the Office of Admissions. The second way is that students come in through self-referral. A lot of our students that are admitted into McNeill through word of mouth share with their friends that may not have been admitted into McNeill, and then those students tend to apply to come join our program. The third pathway is through a scholarship requirement. So if you have a PCDP scholarship or a DSF scholarship, then those scholarships require that you're in a program similar to McNeill, and we accept students in those pathways. So there are 3 ways that students can join the McNeill academic program. Now I'm going to hear from some alumni voices. These are students that have graduated from CU Boulder. They'll talk to you about their experience with McNeill, as well as how it's helped to shape their career paths.
I graduated from Hinckley High School in Aurora in 2009. I went on a field trip to CU Boulder in middle school, and I absolutely fell in love with the campus. And then I actually remember our teachers telling us that it was like really hard for a lot of students from APS to attend CU Boulder because their standards are really high. I remember feeling like a little upset that she said that, but then I remember feeling like I was gonna go to CU Boulder. Academically, I was a good student. I never got anything lower than a B. I walked in thinking that it was just gonna be the easiest thing for me, just like high school, and it wasn't. It was extremely hard. I figured out that I wasn't prepared to attend a school like CU Boulder at all. My advisor at McNeill reached out to me. She was informed of my grades, and we talked about what happened, and we created a plan for that semester to stay at CU Boulder. If you're accepted into the McNeill academic program, it's a safe space. It's somewhere where you can be yourself, be comfortable, but you have an advisor that will understand where you come from, your background, that will help you academically, emotionally, and become the student that you need to become in order to get through CU. It wasn't just about my grades, it was about how I was doing, my experience, how I could feel better. So today I work as a program coordinator at an Annunciation Catholic school, and I'm also a master's student at the School of Education at CU Boulder. And I never thought that would happen. I thought that I would get a BA and that was it. And now I'm soon gonna get a master's.
I graduated from Horizon High School in Thornton, Colorado. I was a very high achieving student, being a part of the drama club, running cross country, becoming student body president, all while working anywhere from 20 to 30 hours a week. When I started at CU, my expectations were to follow in the same footpath. I knew I had to work when I was in school. I was working so much that it started making me feel a little bit spiteful about the students who could hang out on the quad and have an extra long lunch. But the community at McNeill, it was so strong that you felt that everyone wanted you to succeed. Everyone was a part of your journey. If you are accepted into the McNeill academic program, you should totally take advantage. I did my first semester at CU Boulder without it, and it was difficult. Today I am an immigration lawyer. I feel that my experience at McNeill academic program has helped me become a better lawyer. I have no idea what it's like to be a Sudanese law scholar. I have no idea what it's like to be a recent immigrant. Because of McNeill, I have perspective. I'm able to be a good ally I learned how to be a good ally, as well as a good academic, as well as a good teacher through the McNeill Academic Program.
I graduated from the Denver School of Science and Technology in 2008. In high school, I would say I was a bit of a troublemaker. I played on the basketball team and the cross country team as well. One of the things that I never really thought about until I got to Boulder was what I wanted to do with the rest of my life outside of sports, what I wanted to do through college. I was excited to be going to Boulder and to be the first person in my family to go to college in a generation. And then I got this letter saying that you've been introduced to the McNeill program. And the first thing I remember thinking was, what is this McNeill program? Fear kind of took over first, and I was afraid it was a remedial course place where I'd be in classes with all of my peers that didn't do well in high school or something like that. And it turned out to be the exact opposite sort of thing. It was a place that I would go to really just kind of sit there and crank out a paper. McNeill ended up providing me a mentor who I still keep in touch with this day. When I talk about CU, or even when I think about it, the first thing I think about is McNeill. They were a big part of what led me into government and into politics. I work for U.S. Senator Michael Bennett, and my title is Outreach and Communications, meaning that when Michael's out of town, I attend a wide variety of events throughout the state community. I do a lot of correspondence. It's fantastic. I love it.
All right. So now that we've heard from some alumni voices that have shaped their experience at CU Boulder as well as the McNeill program, we want you to do a little bit of reflection on the values that make up our community. So we took some time and we looked at the applications of our students to see what makes our community so great. And we were able to come up with some themes that really reflect what makes up the McNeill community. So we were able to come up with 6 themes and 6 values. The first one being leadership. And that includes after-school job, taking care of siblings or other at-home responsibilities and involvement in school or community groups, clubs, or organizations. We take a non-traditional approach when we look at leadership. We don't look at those who are just in the front of the class or the front of the room, but we also value those who are good followers. Then we value cross-cultural skills, and that is valuing of multicultural communities, appreciating differences, and recognition of strength of diversity. 3 is creativity. That's music, art, theater, choir, or out-of-the-box thinking. This is another non-traditional approach when we think of creativity. We don't only value those who have artistic abilities, but those who really utilize critical thinking is something that we really value, especially in our classroom spaces. Then number 4 is community oriented. That's community service experience, participation in church activities, members of community centers, much like the Boys and Girls Club. 5 is academic achievement. You heard from our alumni voice that a lot of people may perceive that we're a remedial program, but McNeill is not. We really have strong academic standards, and we value academic excellence in our program. That also includes awards, recipients, participation in Gear Up, AVID, PCDP, etc. Last but not least is ambition, and that's drive and motivation and perseverance and resilience and the ability to overcome obstacles in pursuit of long-term goals. You all have already demonstrated some form of ambition because you are a graduating class from high school during a global pandemic. We appreciate and we really value that ambition that shows up within our community. So these are the values that we embody within our McNeill community that we likely saw in your application. And then number 7 is what else? There are many different values that we really do appreciate within our community. So if there's something that you're not seeing on this list, then we want you to reflect on how you can bring that to the community as well. So now I'm going to give you a couple of minutes and I want you to reflect on how you bring some of these McNeill values to the community. What are some of these values that you embody, that you express, that you've experienced, that you feel that you can bring into your first year of college, as well as the McNeill program? So I want you to write down your top 3 McNeill values. And then I want you to tell us a little bit about what that experience looks like within that value. Again, if you have another value that's not on that list, you can go to number 7 and tell us what else, okay? I'm going to give you about 2 minutes to think and reflect, and then we're going to send you back to your breakout group so that you're able to have that discussion. So go ahead and get started, and I'll give you 2 minutes for your own personal reflection, writing down your top 3 McNeill values. Great. Well, I hope you all had great conversations regarding your values and how you can contribute to the McNeill community. So now that we're back in the main room, I would like to have a larger discussion. So if we can get, how many breakout rooms that we have? 4? So if I can get 1 participant from each breakout room to let us know what your conversation was about, if you want to talk specifically about your values that you bring to the community or something that you discussed as a whole, that would be great. So who can I hear from first? How about someone that was in breakout room 1?
I wasn't in a breakout room 1, but like we were talking about ambition and leadership and how McNeill can help us achieve those goals and how we can like use those in our everyday lives.
Great, thank you for participating. Yes, those are 2 values that we see a lot of, especially in McNeill, especially leadership. And again, we take that non-traditional look at leadership. It's not those that are just in front of the room, but all of us can embody some form of leadership in some capacity. So thank you, I appreciate that. Any other group with leadership or another value? Joe, go ahead.
I was just talking about how Frank made me proud. Thanks, Frank.
Thank you.
I was in group 4 and we kind of focused on cross-cultural skills. That was a big one in our chat. And how at McNeill, just at CU in general, we're going to meet people that we're not going to agree with 100%. But using those cross-cultural skills, we'll be able to be more accepting and just have a better experience overall.
Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate you participating and sharing how important the cross-cultural skills are within our community. Again, it's more about appreciating those differences and seeing the strengths within those differences. Sometimes it takes us unlearning some things so that we can learn something new that can take place of some of our preconceived notions. And those are things that we really appreciate. We really value a growth mindset. And sometimes that cross-cultural and creativity, they play together a lot within our community. So thank you again. I really appreciate that. All right, we have 2 more groups to represent. Who wants to go next?
Come on, group 2, represent me.
We have Claire's comment in the chat.
Claire was in my group, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, good. There we go.
I can't see her chat. Can someone?
Oh, I'm so sorry. It says we talked a lot about cross-cultural skills, specifically that it's very important because it refers to our knowledge, skills, and affect motivation that enables us individuals to adapt effectively in cross-cultural environments. And it allows us to recognize the differences, diversity among all of us. We also tried to talk about creativity as the end and all the opportunities it can lead for us.
Yes, Claire,
Wow.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you, Claire. That was great. I really appreciate you participating and sharing and representing your group. That creativity notion is often one that we see a lot of students shy away from, but I appreciate you all thinking about creativity in a lot of different forms. And you also very much included ambition and achievement within your values in thinking about cross-cultural skills. So I appreciate all of that. And you also display leadership because you're willing to recognize those differences, appreciate those differences, and grow. And those are all things that we appreciate in our program. So thank you so much for representing Group 2.
Hey.
All right, last but not least.
I forget what group I was part of, but the one that hasn't spoken. We touched on ambition and wanting to be the driving force of change and like wanting to see something happen and believing, standing with what you believe. So
Absolutely. Thank you so much for participating. We believe that this generation of students have the most ambition. You all are creative. You all will be a driving force of change. We are so excited to work with this generation of students as you become leaders. And we hope that we can help cultivate and help you continue to have that drive and motivation in your first year in college as we see you all the way through to graduation. So thank you all for participating. I hope that through this activity, you had an opportunity to see not only what McNeill is, but why you are a part of McNeill. You all make up this great community. These are values that we all embody. We're excited to have you a part of this community, and we're excited to see how you can put these values into place as you continue to grow in your academic careers. So thank you all for participating. I'm now going to turn it over to Sophie, who's going to lead us in the next part of our program.
Thank you so much, Dr. Johnson. Thank you, everybody, again for participating. Oh, good. We can see everybody if you want to put it on gallery view again. I do want to give a chance for everybody to meet another one of our faculty who's here, Dr. Julia Willis. Her name's been mentioned. Dr. Willis, can you take a sec to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Dr. Julia Willis. I am pleased. I am one of the academic coordinators, so I will get a chance to work with some of you more one-on-one. I have degrees in English and in math. So, one of the things I really appreciate about McNeill is that it combines social with the academic, and that we start with our individual roots and then we grow together with our roots getting stronger as we move through that experience together. And it's an honor to be part of this community.
Thanks so much, Dr. Willis. So now that you've heard a little bit about what we value, what makes up who we are, and some of our program components, I want to share with you a video Brian made for us to share a little bit about how we set up our space. Brian, can you say a little bit?
Yeah, so typically we would give you guys like an hour tour about all these spaces if we had like a true summer launch, but so this is just like an overview of like all the spaces that you guys can use and what's available to you when you guys do start school in the fall, and hope that these spaces will like eventually help you and make sure that you guys are successful in getting your degree.
Okay, I'll show the video.
Hey everyone, my name is Brian. I'm a current student in the McNeill academic program. Today, I'm going to be showing you a whole tour of the whole Fleming building of all the spaces that you can utilize as your college career starts in the fall. So what are we waiting for? Let's get started. The first stop, this is the study hub. This is where you can come and get help from a multitude of people and instructors about different subjects in the STEM fields such as chemistry, biology, anatomy, writing, and economics. Here, you are able to hang out and have a space to do homework, eat, and even have access to 2 computers with printing capabilities. To get to our next space, we walk through this hallway, which is used by other departments on campus. There are large lecture rooms here where engineering, business, and science classes meet. Our next stop, this is the M. Here you're able to hang out as well as get math help from any math instructor or even IAs. You can receive help from pre-calc to up to Calc 3 for all those engineers. There will always be an IA or an instructor that is willing to help you, and like the study hub, you will have access to 2 computers with full printing capabilities as well. Now we'll head upstairs as our space is on 2 floors. Our next stop, this is the computer lab. But just like the study hub and the M, there's space to work independently or collaboratively with others. Here you have 9 computers with printing capabilities at your disposal, where you can work on homework, projects, or even the occasional YouTube browsing. Come on, we all know we do it. Before we head to our last stop, let's take the time to appreciate the classroom community. As you can see, there's always collaborative work between students themselves and between faculty and students. In this second floor hallway, you'll find lots of students studying, hanging out, or even napping on the couch. Lastly, this is the student lounge. This is by far my favorite place in Fleming. This is where most students like to come and hang out. Here, you can easily chill out after class or do some homework in between classes or even take advantage of the couches and sleep. Here, this is where we host our community events and typically we have lots of food. And that is it. That is the whole tour of the Fleming building. We hope you guys have an idea on how to use these spaces and hope that these spaces are helpful for you guys when you guys start your college career in the fall. Other than that, welcome to being a CU Buff, and I'll see you soon. Thank you.
So we're hopeful that we get to be together physically, face to face soon. But for the meantime, we will be remote, but that's something to look forward to. We have another faculty who joined us, and I'd like Rebecca Machen to introduce herself.
Yeah, hi, my name is Rebecca Machen. I'm the math program coordinator for the Student Academic Success Center, and I'm one of the McNeill academic coordinators.
Thank you. So right now I want to move on and talk a tiny bit about financial aid. We have some slides. We do have a really nice connection with financial aid, and she couldn't be here today. So I'm going to share the slides with you and go over just some basic information, what you need to know about financial aid. Oops. Okay, all right, so we're going to cover a few areas, looking at your financial aid, looking at your offer, getting a sense of your bill, and the College Opportunity Fund. So as you look at the Buff portal, you're going to log in, and if your financial aid, if you submitted a FAFSA, an application for financial aid, if it's not complete, you wouldn't have received any information about what your financial aid is yet, and you'll have some holds or to-do items. You have to look at your to-do items, and they might ask you for some more forms that financial aid needs to look at before they can make a determination on how much financial aid you get. So please take a look at that. If you have everything complete, you would have been notified via email with your award offer. You might have received grants, scholarships, work study, or loans. So grants and scholarships, that's free money. They're going to automatically be accepted for you. So when they say, we're giving this to you, they're going to assume that you're going to say yes. So they're going to say, accept that. Work study is our funds where when you get a job, the employer, some of your salary is paid by the award, the government. So like, for example, when I hire somebody who has work study, I don't have to pay them the portion of their salary. is reduced. So it saves my department money, but the student gets a full, hourly salary. So it's a really big benefit in terms of making it easier to find a job. And some of those funds aren't counted in your financial aid in terms of being expected for you to bring that much to the financial aid package every year. That they're not expecting you to always cover that amount because it's covered by work study. It just doesn't count. The other piece are loans. So those aren't automatically accepted for you. So you want to take a look and gauge how much in loans do you want to take out. And so when you receive your offer, they're going to tell you the full amount of loans or any of your aid, and you need to split it in half for each semester. So you're going to, when you accept it, you're taking half of that amount for the fall and half for the spring. So like I mentioned, the Buff portal, get familiar with the Buff portal, put in your identity key and your password. Then you'll look for the financial aid card. It'll look similar to this picture. Choose year 2020 and 2021, and then you can accept or decline the aid. So the bill is due September 5th. Financial aid, you'll start seeing it 1 week before you start classes. However, you might make some adjustments to your schedule. And so if you plan to be a full-time student, you need a minimum of 12 credits, which amounts to about 4 classes. A lot of classes are about 3 credits. Classes will be anywhere from 3 to 5 credits. So you want to take at least 12 credits if you want to be a full-time student. So it's really important on there's time to adjust your classes, add and drop classes. So the second week of classes is usually the last day to drop. You want to make sure your schedule's accurate. They're going to look at how many credits you are enrolled in and make the final decision on how much aid you get based on whether you're a full-time student, a part-time student. And so if you're waitlisted for any classes, that doesn't count. So if you're enrolled in 8 hours of classes and you're waitlisted for a 4 credit hour class, financial aid will only see that you're enrolled in 8 hours and base your financial aid based on that, because as a part-time student, your tuition's a little bit less. So be very careful that you have 12 credits. Work with your McNeill coordinator and your academic advisor to make sure you fully understand what that looks like. Your McNeill coordinator will be fully available before classes start. The first couple weeks of classes, definitely. We're going to be very open. You can always meet with one of us. And then, so once I figure all that out, some students will get a refund. Like let's say you're living off campus and you're going to pay rent, the housing didn't go through the CU campus housing. So in that case, you're going to get this huge check, but that is supposed to last you through the whole semester. Do not go on a big shopping spree. Do not go buy a car. That's not extra money, especially if some of it's loans. So if you have too much, you want to give some of it back and you don't want to take it all out in loans. But that money is going to last you the whole semester so that you can be full, so you can give your attention fully being a student and not having to work quite as much. Hopefully this will give you a little bit of a break. The other important piece is a college opportunity fund. This is kind of how you get in-state tuition. So, but you have to apply and get an application in so that they know that you're going to get this discount on your tuition. So it's for in-state students, and Colorado asset students are also eligible. You have to give CU permission to access those funds and apply it to your tuition at CU. So to apply for COFS, College Opportunity Fund, go to College Assist. It will take about a week for it to go through. Then you're going to go back into your Buff portal, click on College Opportunity Fund, and see what the status is. As you register for classes, you'll be prompted to make sure that you've given CU authorization to use a College Opportunity Fund. So I'd say in the next couple weeks, it's really important that you look at your financial aid. You take a look at if there's any to-do items so that it's all ready to go, you can get your package. And then as you look in the Buff portal, you can get a sense of what your tuition is going to be for the fall. Because the bill's not due till September, it's really easy to add courses to your schedule and not be aware of this piece, but I want you to be to pay attention so you can talk to your family and say, it looks like this is how much we're going to have to pay for my education in the fall, so that you have a good plan, because you don't want these things distracting you once you're fully enrolled in classes. If you're a full-time student, that is a full-time 40 to 60 hour job. Resources and financial aid. So if you have questions, please contact financial aid. They have a chat feature available on their website because they're remote. Their website is listed here. Student employment, that's where you're going to look for a job. And then our contact is Brenda Navarrete. Her email address is here, scholarshipcounselor@colorado.edu. Please write her email down so that you can email her with any questions. If it looks like you have a to-do item and you've submitted your paperwork successfully, within a week, you're welcome to check in with Brenda and say, do you have everything? When will I know what my financial aid will look like? If you have a question about what that paperwork looks like, contact financial aid, or you can contact Brenda directly. I want to mention the McNeill scholarships. We have two. The first one I want to talk about is called the CU Lead Award. This one is $1,000 per semester. You're eligible once you meet the McNeill program requirements. And if you keep meeting the McNeill program requirements, it's automatically renewed up to 8 semesters. It's a competitive award. If you're in the pre-collegiate program, you don't have to apply. It's automatically provided. But everybody else, it's competitive. Not everyone in McNeill gets this award. It's worth applying. I know some of you did apply for it. Given the circumstances for this year, we don't yet know our budget. So we had to put a pause on those applications. As soon as we know what the budget is, we'll start making decisions, and you'll get an update on what's happening with your application. So you'll hear from us. The second award, so the McNeill Academic Program is housed in the Department of the Student Academic Success Center, which houses a number of wonderful programs for students where we have small academic communities for students. And the McNeill Academic Program is one of the programs. So they are able to provide a gift card, a book scholarship, a $50 book scholarship to students who complete summer launch parts 1 and parts 2 this summer. And students who are eligible are the students who were admitted to the McNeill program through the Office of Admissions. Okay, so let's see. I want to stop sharing this one and move on to next steps. Any questions about financial aid at this point? I'm going to close out this and then go back to my other. See. Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so next steps. So we're finishing up here. Summer launch part 2 is going to be the week of July 13th. We'll have a similar schedule. Some of them offered during the day. We'll have at least one offered in the evening. If you could communicate with us what times don't work for you, we'll try to schedule around that. So if you want to throw that into the chat to me, I'll definitely put that into consideration. We're going to put the registration out next week. Please respond. So at this session, we're going to talk about course registration, how to register for your classes, how do you get your schedule set up so that you're making progress towards your degree. In the fall, some classes will be offered remotely, some will be in person. So you're going to have a mix, and it's going to give you a chance to really get ready, so you can get accustomed to studying remotely. It might be really different than it was for you this past semester. Classes start on August 24th, and I want to bring to your attention that after fall break, which is in November, which falls on Thanksgiving Day and the day after Thanksgiving, as soon as that hits, all classes are going to be remote. And if you're living on campus, you will not be able to move back to campus after fall break until the spring semester. So from fall break through finals until you come back to the spring, you will not be living on campus, but it's expected that students can stay on campus through then. But I want everyone to be getting prepared when the semester starts for being able to take your finals remotely. Also in the next couple weeks, complete the online journey. You got that information from the new student and family welcome programs. And what that does is gives you an orientation to CU. There's 2 parts that are really important. Once you get through these 2 parts, you can register for classes. You cannot register until those components are complete. And those are those challenges, those quizzes in the advising component and enrolling in classes. If you're stuck, if it's not working, call us up or email us and we'll get back to you, or to contact the new student and family welcome program. They can help you walk through it. But try to do that in the next couple weeks. So far in the next couple weeks, you're going to do the online journey and look at your financial aid. We also need your feedback. Thank you for being open to this online format. We want some feedback on how we can, if there's any changes we need to make, but it also helps us see who attended. So then we can quit bugging you that we know that you attended part 1 and we won't keep saying that you didn't. Your name will be separated from the data. So your feedback's going to be anonymous. So if you could do that here, that'd be great. So if everybody can take a few minutes to get on this site, and then Lorly, will you send it over the chat as well, the link, in case we can't access it here. So I'm going to take everybody, get your device out and please fill out the evaluation. Again, this tells us that you were here today and we won't keep bugging you. And that this also tells us that you're ready to move on to summer launch part 2. If you're finished, take a look at the screen. These are ways to connect with us. Okay, I'm going to bring everybody back. You have time to finish that up still. If you could turn your video on just for a minute, just so I want people to start seeing you, for you to see other people, so we can just get used to seeing who our community is. We're just going to keep trying to maximize how we connect with each other this summer in preparation for classes. Thank you so much for putting your video on. So individual questions, if you have individual questions, we'll be in separate breakout rooms and I can assign people to breakout rooms. If you have questions about next steps, what to do in terms of getting ready for CU, questions about housing, I do have a list. If you're not clear if you're on the housing list or not, feel free to send me a note and I can respond to you in the chat. Let's see. Thank you for getting turning your video on. If people can turn on your video. I know some people are having trouble doing that. Thank you. It's great to see everyone. Any questions for the larger group? Okay. So we'll be back in touch next week about Summer Launch Part 2. We're really happy to be making movement and finishing up this piece and answering some questions, the mystery of who McNeill is or what McNeill is. And our next piece, we'll do registration, and then you all will be pre-registered in a McNeill course based on the major that you told us that you might be interested in studying in the fall. I think we had phone calls or surveys to all of you and you responded to that. And there's space to adjust, but we don't offer a ton of classes, so we want to make sure everyone has a chance to take at least one class with us in the fall and in the spring. So you'll hear from us next week. Hang out if you've got questions. Otherwise, just wave and you guys are all set to go. Thank you. As long as you finish up that evaluation. Thank you so much for being here and being open.